Hey friends, welcome to another Wolverine live stream. So today I just wanted to pop on here and talk to you guys about my day so far. I had an MRI scheduled for today, and it's for my right hip and my lower back. Just as part of like having Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, they want to keep an eye on my joints and just make sure that there's not any like nerve impingement or anything, because I'm about to start some more intense physical therapy. Okay, before proceed to watch my kids today, and my husband drove the MRI place, and I got there, I changed out of my clothes and into the scrubs that they have you wear, and then I got into the machine and they started doing the imaging, and I freaked out. I had a full-blown panic attack, and I was squeezing the little emergency bulb like my life depended on it. And the guy came in and he's like, okay, well, we didn't even get like halfway done with the first image. So why don't we do this? Go ahead and change back in your clothes, get dressed, go up to the front desk and reschedule. So on Tuesday, I'm going for an MRI in the larger open machine that they typically use for bariatric patients, because I just can't do it, which is so weird because I've actually had several MRIs in the past and I've never had an issue with it. But today, y'all, I freaked out. Like, I was in there and I thought I was okay, and I'm trying to talk myself down. You know how you do when you're panicking. You're like trying to logically, I'm okay, I'm in a medical setting, I can squeeze the bulb, I can get out of here anytime I need to. And for whatever reason, I just could not talk myself out of the panic, and I could feel my chest getting tight, and I felt like I couldn't breathe, and I'm like in all the way, like the machine is like 6 inches above my head. I'm in all the way. And I just I couldn't do it. I freaked out. And so the guy was really sweet. He pulled me out of the machine and he had me sit up and just take a couple deep breaths. And then he gave me some water and he said, okay, well, let's go ahead and reschedule you for the bigger machine. They couldn't do it today because the bigger machine is being used back to back to back. They only have one, and they use it for all of their bariatric clients. So they don't really offer it most of the time unless they know you have some extreme anxiety or claustrophobia. And so, yeah. So about 20 minutes after I got there, I came back out, and my husband luckily he was reading in the parking lot. He was just waiting for me. And I thought he was going to laugh at me, but he didn't. He actually was really sweet. And he said, well, next time we'll just make sure you take your anxiety meds first. And, then you're coming in later in the evening, and we'll make sure you wear nice, loose, comfortable clothing. And, he was just so reassuring and so loving about it. But I can't help but feel kind of like it was a failure on my part, like that I couldn't just talk myself down. Usually I'm pretty good about talking myself out of panic attacks. And I couldn't do it. I could not do it today. I was just overwhelmed by how small that space was. And I think part of it was also because you have to wear a mask now. And being in this like coffin-sized tube with a mask on your face, it just really adds to the claustrophobia. So I'm going to try again on Tuesday and see how that goes. It's not an emergent MRI. I don't have any surgeries or anything. It's just literally just a routine MRI to kind of look at things, starting with my lower back and my hip, and then we'll do the other hip, and then we'll do my cervical spine and thoracic spine, and probably my shoulders, but like not all at once, obviously. So yeah, that was my day today. So because the appointment didn't go as planned, my husband took me to Barnes & Noble, and we looked at books and just kind of hung out for a little while, which was nice because we haven't done that in a little bit. But yeah, so I have to go back Tuesday. It happens. If you ever have to have an MRI, just please note that it is smaller than you think. And it's weird too, because I don't know about you guys, I have PTSD and I also have generalized anxiety disorder. I feel like in some ways my anxiety's gotten a lot better because now I can ride in a car without having a panic attack. But in other ways, it's gotten a lot worse because I've actually had MRIs before where they had to, do my neck. So I was in the machine. And for some reason, today, I was really triggered and I just couldn't do it. So it's interesting. Hopefully I'll cope better next time. Oh, hi, Diane. How are you? I hope you guys are doing good. I didn't really have anything else to talk about. I just was like, I have to get on and tell these people what is going on in my life, because it feels like a failure, right? Like, it feels like I should have been able to talk myself out of it, but I couldn't do it. Just could not do it. So anyway, yeah, I'm trying not to feel like too down about it. Everybody was so nice about it. The lady at the front desk was like, she said she couldn't do them without medication, and the gentleman who was doing the MRI said I wasn't even the first person to leave partway through the image this week, so it's not it's not uncommon. But my goodness, I was not expecting myself to be that freaked out. And yeah, and to not be able to talk myself out of it was really difficult. Am I right? They're horrible. Like, it's just such a small space, and because you're like there to find out if something's wrong with you, there's so much like ick energy around it, and then the spaces are tiny. They strap you to this board. Like, I don't know about you, Deanne, but when I was in there earlier today, they put this like big plastic thing over me, and they like strapped it down to hold it in place, and you just it feels a lot like getting put into a coffin, it's it's so small and not life affirming. I don't know, it's not good mentally for me. But luckily this MRI place does have, it's called an open MRI. It's not actually open, it's just bigger. And so that's the MRI that I'll be getting on Tuesday. So fingers crossed that, well, I don't know what to cross my fingers for, because like I don't want anything to be wrong with me. Obviously, I don't want to have any issues. But then having Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, I'm so used to my test results all coming back normal, and then living in horrible pain without any proof. Luckily, I have a great doctor now, and she totally gets that you can't always see this disease. But yeah, I'm hoping like if there is something, that it's something that we can work on in physical therapy, like non-surgical intervention, that sort of thing. So part of me is like, I want them to see something because I want like proof that I'm injured. But then a bigger part of me is like, I would rather know that I'm just dislocating and in pain without any actual damage. That would be great. So I did have an x-ray of my pelvis and hips a couple weeks ago, and everything looked fine, but x-rays don't show soft tissue. So that's why we're doing the MRI. Yeah, I don't usually panic. Like, I mean, I hate them. I'm very uncomfortable and anxious the entire time, but I can usually like, just charge through it. And today it was just like the overwhelming sense of dread was too much. And I literally was squeezing that thing like 20 times, like, get me out of here. The guy was like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "No, I am not okay right now. I am not okay. Get me out of here. I am panicking. I need out. Get me out." And I think it probably took him like all of maybe 30 seconds to get me out of the machine, because it has to like but that was the longest 30 seconds of my life. Like, it was just terrible. I hated it. And he's like, "Well, luckily you don't have to get a chest MRI." I'm like, "Not yet." Not yet. But yeah, I'm really grateful they have the open ones. So other than that, what am I doing? I know I haven't been posting videos, and that's because I have been plugging away on this tutorial. And I am almost done. I am at the point now where I'm almost ready to put a border on it. I'm going to show you in a second. It's tangled up with my crochet hook. Don't want to break another one of my fancy crochet hooks. So I'm at the point now with this. Man, it is really, what is going on here? Look, it's like tangled up in my hook. All right, let's see. There we go. I got it. Okay, so I know I said a couple days, and it's probably been a couple weeks, and I'm just not that great at planning how long it's going to take to make something. But this is the tutorial that I'm doing. Oh, thanks, Dean. I mean, yeah, you poor thing. I do feel kind of like a kicked puppy today. Just, I couldn't do it. I was so freaked out. But anyway, this tutorial, change of subject, will be up I don't know when. So I have literally 2 more colors to do. As you can see, it does the rainbow pattern, does red, orange, yellow, green, blue. This is my stand-in for indigo. It's like a navy and violet. And so I was doing 3 repeats, and I'm on the 3rd repeat, and I'm on the 2nd to last color. And then I will do the border. So once I start the border, it'll probably take me like another 2 or 3 days to make that part of the tutorial. Unfortunately, because sometimes my hands just aren't, they're just not cooperative. I don't crochet as fast as I used to. So when I say something's going to take a couple days, just translate that into a couple weeks, because I'm trying. I'm trying. But yeah, this is the Rainbow Lark's Foot baby blankets, the one I'm making a tutorial for. And actually made this one in black for a friend who's having her rainbow baby. And I got to see an ultrasound of her baby today. It was so sweet. Oh my goodness, like a little video ultrasound of her baby. It was just the sweetest thing. So I'm so happy for her. And then this one is for another person that I care very deeply about having her rainbow baby. And so it's a rainbow baby blanket. And for those of you that don't know what a rainbow baby is, it's if you've had a pregnancy loss or a child loss, your rainbow baby is the baby that comes after that. So rainbows after storms kind of thing. So I love making rainbow baby blankets because they're a huge celebration. It's like a triumph, you know. So the next step is after I finish navy, and then I'll do another row that's pale yellow, and then I'll do the violet, and then another row of pale yellow. And I will then start the border, which will probably just be, I think I did double crochet with single crochet row in between of each color. It ended up being like a 5-inch border. It was a really big border. So it's going to take a little while, but I am almost there, and it is happening. I am recording it. It actually has, I've been editing it and recording it and doing the voiceovers as I go so that I'm not overwhelmed with it at the end. So there's that. That's what I'm working on. Oh, I got my KnitCrate this month, and it came with these cute little stitch markers. It came with 2 of these. Now, granted, the main KnitCrate didn't get here until like May 30th, and they charge on the 1st of every month, and so there's a lot of issues with the customer service right now. None of my discount codes are working either, and part of me is frustrated, but a bigger part of me is just trying to be understanding, because I've been a customer with KnitCrate for like a year now. I think about a year, almost a year. And their customer service has always been wonderful, but yeah, they are dealing with some like massive changes. And I know that they're losing customers left and right. And so I'm trying so hard to just like hold on, I feel like it will get better, but it's probably gonna get worse before it gets better. But the good news is that since it takes so long from the time that they charge me to the time that I get my yarn, I forget, and it's like getting a surprise in the mail. And I do have, what did I do with my yarn? I put it somewhere. I do have it here somewhere. But the yarn, so I got, I want to say, I think it was April's yarn. April and May. They were both different shades of blue. But this month's is amazing. I don't know where I put it, you guys. I had it. I'll have to think about it. Maybe I'll do like a separate video just for my KnitCrate yarns. I had it like right here because I was gonna wind it into cakes, and then my husband almost sat on it, so I moved it, and I can't remember where I put it, but it's around. I'll show you guys at some point. But yeah, KnitCrate has been a little bit difficult to deal with as of late, but I am encouraging everybody that has a KnitCrate subscription to just hang on, because I would really hate for that company to go under. I mean, they've always provided the yarn, you guys, it's amazing. It is such amazing yarn, and they give indie dyers and designers a chance to work with them. So like all of their patterns are sourced from indie designers. All of their yarn is from Dyer Supplier, which is humane. And I'm not affiliated with KnitCrate. Let me say that. I'm not affiliated with it. No, I don't have enough people for like anybody to pay me to do anything because I'm so inconsistent. But I will say that I really appreciate KnitCrate as a company. And I feel really badly because they're having a really hard time lately. And their customer service has always been so kind. Like every time that I've had any issue, they fixed it. But like right now, it's a little, they're not doing so great. But yeah. So the Rainbow Lark's Foot baby blanket tutorial, I'm hoping will be up in the next week-ish. And then I'm not sure what I want to do next. I was thinking of doing a syrup tutorial. Like, I already did an elderberry syrup tutorial, so I was thinking about doing like an allergy syrup recipe because I need to make myself some anyway. And then my June boxes are available right now on my Etsy. And this month's theme is Return to Love. So in those, there's going to be my heart tea blend. There's a little, they're so cute, these little rose quartz hearts. And then there's a little spray bottle of rose water for like your face, your skin. And then there's a little perfume. It's called Agua de Rosas, Colonia de Rosas. It's for like spiritual purposes, but it's also a perfume. And then a couple other things. So I'm really excited about those boxes, and they're up now in my Etsy shop for anybody that's interested. So that's kind of what's going on in my life right now. I don't have much else happening. Just living. But I mean, no news is good news, right? There hasn't been anything super horrible. Although I want to say 2 weeks ago, I had a really, really bad dislocation in my spine. And that stuck around for like 5 days. And that sucked. That was not fun. It was in my thoracic spine, like at the same level as your solar plexus. And I got that one back in finally. It finally resolved itself. And then I had a neck dislocation. And that one stuck around for about 3 days. So 8 days of the last 14 days sucked really bad. But right now, my spine seems to be in order. And other than the panic attack about the MRI, I'm doing okay. So I'm hoping that it was like because of the full blood flower moon, just, you know, that maybe that's the worst it'll be this year. Fingers crossed. Yeah, so that's always, I forget to like mention all of my dislocations and things. And I was doing an EDS awareness challenge for the month of May, but I kind of started to slack off at the end because I had those dislocations, and I didn't need to be made hyper aware of how much that sucks. So I ended up not doing all of the awareness challenges that I was planning on doing. So it is what it is. And let's see, my kids just got done with homeschooling for the year. So we're on summer vacation now, which is really exciting because that gives me time to plan for next year. And that's like, I'm a little overwhelmed because this year was the first year that I had a preschooler and a higher grade child to homeschool at the same time. And now my daughter is, you know, pre-K, kind of kindergarten. She's kind of in between. She's 5. And my son is in 7th. So it's, yeah, that should be fun to plan. And yeah. My husband is doing great. No issues there. And I have a steady stream of orders coming in through Etsy, so I'm really happy about that. I am making a new batch of Badass Balm probably tomorrow. And I don't know, I need to add some new things to the shop. I'm thinking about adding bug spray, like insect repellent, and sunscreen, those sorts of things. So keep an eye out for those if you're interested. But I don't know what I should do tutorials on. So if you guys have any ideas, like, let me know. I mean, crochet tutorials aren't really my jam. I'm just doing this one because so many people have asked for it. I really love to crochet, but honestly, when I have to make tutorials, it starts to feel like work. And I'm not really interested. So I think I might write some of the patterns that I do because I don't really use patterns. But I don't know that I'll be making that many tutorials in the future. I think I'll probably focus more on the herbal tutorials. But I will talk about yarn. And I will show you my projects, but I'm probably not going to do that many tutorials. They just take a lot of energy. I have so much respect for the people that can put out a tutorial every week. Like, how? I don't know. Or like 2 tutorials. You guys are crazy. It's amazing. I can't do it. Like, I've been on here for how many months, and I'm just now doing like my first actual tutorial of a full-sized project. I could probably do maybe like amigurumi tutorials. I don't know. I just feel like there's so many great tutorials out there that there's not really a need for me to to do that. But the herbal tutorials would be fun. Maybe I'll do would you guys be interested in like a sunscreen tutorial, like how to make your own sunscreen? Because that's something useful. Or your own bug spray. That one's really easy. Super easy. But just let me know. I mean, I usually put my email on some of these live stream chat things so you guys can get in touch with me. So if you have any ideas for tutorials that you want to see, whether they're crochet or herbal or, I don't know, underwater basket weaving, just let me know. A big part of why I'm so inconsistent with YouTube is because I don't really like myself enough to film me doing all the things that I do, like on my way to the doctor's office or like in the car going somewhere. I just don't really feel comfortable filming myself, and maybe I just need to get over that. And so I feel like you guys only ever see me when I'm in bed at the end of the day after something happens. And I don't know that what I have to say is all that interesting. So I appreciate those of you that do join me for my live streams, because I just think I can be incredibly dull sometimes. And I would like to be more interesting. I would love to take you guys on more vacations with me and whatnot. Speaking of which, I'm still harassing my husband to record the music for the Mesa Verde Drive video. Granted, he has a disabled wife, 2 kids, and a job, so like I can't really get that upset with him. He's kind of busy. He's a little busy sometimes, but I am going to harass him into recording that music so I can finally post that video. And then, of course, the Lark's Foot tutorial and yeah, whatever tutorial I decide to do next. I think I might just start recording everything and then filtering it out. Like, I just need to get comfortable filming myself, right? Because it's kind of weird to me, like, to speak all the time. I know it's like maybe the kids that are a little younger than me do that, but oh, Diane, thank you. I really enjoy talking to you too. I love these live chats. I really do, because it's like the only socialization that I do. But I do kind of feel like, I don't know, what am I even doing? What am I doing? But I guess that's how anybody would feel doing this. Like, part of me is like, I need to have a script. Like, what am I talking about today? What am I ever talking about? I'm never talking about like one thing, right? It's I have like these playlists I try to categorize my chats into, and I don't even know. I don't even know. I should just rename my channel Miscellaneous. But yeah. How are you, Diane? Are you doing okay? I hope you are. I don't know who else is lurking, but hello. I like it when I have lurkers. I'm always like, somebody finds me interesting enough to at least have me on in the background while they're crocheting or something. So, ooh, I got another one. So whoever's lurking, hello. But oh, thanks, Diane. I honestly think that like every YouTuber probably struggles with that, like feeling like you don't actually have anything interesting to say, and then people support their channel because it is interesting, right? It's just, I have trouble with the people that know that they're interesting and they like are a little over self-indulgent. I just don't, whatever that is, I don't have that. Like, I don't know. I just need to start filming myself more. You're doing about the same? Well, I'm happy you're here. I hope things start to get like just infinitely better for all of us in the next couple of months. I hope that we're on the uptick and that slope is really steep and upwards, and then just kind of plateaus at the top for like 15 years. If we could just be okay for 15 years, that'd be great. But yeah, I know how that goes. I feel like sometimes I have just a ton of energy and I want to go do something, and then I'll move and like one of my joints will dislocate. And so then I'm stuck in bed with energy. Like today I have quite a bit of energy, but I'm just in a lot of pain. Yeah. Right? Like if we could just be on like the upslope and then plateau for 15 years, and then maybe we could have like a small surprise in 15, like a small surprise in 15 years. But I would be okay with mediocre for like, just as long as it doesn't get worse. Please. I mean, things got a little crazy there over the past few years. Hopefully we got that all out of our system and we can just start enjoying life again. Hugging our friends again and like breathing the same air. It got crazy. It got crazy. Like when you look back at like, I don't care what your political beliefs are. When you look back at the past like 5-ish years, like things got a little intense. They got a little insane. It's a little. If you would have told me like 5 years ago that this is where we would be now and we would have gone through all of this I don't think that I would have believed you, because it was so intensely unexpected. And I don't like surprises that much anymore. I think Corona ruined surprises for me because I don't like surprises anymore. But yeah, if we could just all be okay for the next decade and a half or so, at least, maybe 20 years. It's going to take that long for me to recover from the shock of what the state of the world is right now. It's just insanity. But in good news, the 4th of July is coming up, and so there will be fireworks, and that's always exciting. And pools are going to be opening up. I mean, I probably won't be going. I will be going for aquatherapy, but that's different. That's not really a pool. It's like, well, I mean, it is a pool, but it's not a public pool. It's a therapy pool. It's a warm water therapy pool. I'm really excited about that. And I might actually film myself doing that if they let me, because that would be a cool thing, I think, to make a video of for people who have never done aquatherapy, don't know what that looks like. I think that would be a good, and also just to show what it looks like when somebody who covers their hair gets into a swimming pool looks like. Because no, I'm not going to just take this off. My head will not be naked in the water. And I found this really cute, like, wetsuit, and it comes down to like my elbows and my knees. So I'm excited about that because I don't want to have one that's like all the way to my wrists and my ankles. I want to actually feel the water. Your pool will open soon. That sounds nice. I know I'm a little reluctant. I'm hesitant to do much with the public just because my kids aren't vaccinated yet. And I mean, I'm vaccinated, but it's so new. It's like, do I still need to be careful? So I end up wearing my mask all the time anyway and avoiding crowds. Oh, the splash pad. How fun. I do feel like that might be fun because when there's like a fountain, you can definitely socially distance or whatever. You can get a lot more space than in a pool, because when you're in a pool, it's like you only have so much space to run around. But the splash pads and the fountains and all that, those are always fun. I remember those as a kid. We had a great time. We definitely did. There's actually in Loveland, Colorado, there's this park. I can't remember what it's called, but it's got a dog park and like a kid's splash pad park and this little river. And when we took my dog, she went running towards the river. And I had no idea she even liked water until that point, but she just booked it to the river. She was like, I want in there. She is part golden retriever, so I think that's probably why. Speaking of which, when we got home from my failed MRI appointment, my dog ran out of the house and down the block. So we had to chase her down to the car and then tell her, hey, we're going for a ride. She's exhausting. Where are you, Diane? Everything is open there? I mean, I'm in Colorado, and I think most things are open. A lot of places still require masks, which I'm grateful for. Even places that don't require, like, unless they're going to tell me that I'm not allowed to wear a mask in their store, I'm going to wear a mask, because I haven't had a cold in over a year, and that's amazing, because colds really kind of ruined me, just with all of my health issues. So the mask for me is here to stay. I don't even care. Like, I'm just going to wear it for the rest of my life. I'm fine with it. Oh, Indiana, yeah. Colorado is kind of interesting because it's a swing state. Some years it's red, some years it's blue. And I'm finding that with the COVID restrictions, it's really interesting because some of the counties are like gung-ho to open everything up and like stop being afraid of the virus and, take back our rights and all that. And then other places, people are extremely cautious, and although optimistic, cautiously so, because they're estimating that if they were to just completely lift their restrictions 100%, like nobody wears a mask, nobody social distances, that there would be about 10,000 more people that die from COVID in the next couple of months. And I don't know about you, but to me, that's unacceptable. Like, there should not one death should ever be okay. And somehow in America, we have managed to reach more than 500,000 people dead. and we're still arguing about masks. I mean, I wear my mask all the time. I have too many health issues, and I appreciate and respect the fact that there are a lot of people out there with health issues, and I want to protect them from my germs as well. Pregnant ladies and people with compromised immune systems and things. I just think it's a courtesy at this point to wear a mask. So I will continue to wear my mask and wash my hands and tell you guys to do so at the end of my videos as well, because that's what I believe in. Nobody has to agree with me. But yeah, like Diane saying, I would rather be cautious too. My husband did laugh though, because I was wearing lipstick today and I had my mask on, so he was the only one that got to see it. And I'm like, that's how you know it's just for you. But yeah, I like my mask. I actually have a really cute, it's zebra print for Ed's. It's zebra print. My friend Joanna made it for me. If anybody needs a handmade mask, let me know, or a personalized, like one of those metal tumbler cup things, or really anything you can do with resin. My friend Joanna does that. She also does t-shirts and keychains and anything like you can think of. That woman is so incredibly talented and creative, and she just opened her own little business, which I think is awesome. And her soon-to-be husband got a giant shed for their backyard, and she's putting her little workshop in there. So I'm like super proud of her. So if anybody needs personalized gifts, that's the lady. But she made my zebra mask. I'll have to show it to you guys in one of these videos. Yeah, it's definitely my favorite one. Yeah, I just think, in a lot of cultures, like I know in Japan, if you have a cold, you wear a mask to protect other people, even when there's not a global pandemic happening. And for me, just with how many health issues I have, when I get a cold, you guys, it is catastrophic. Like, it's not like I get sick and then I get better and then I move on with my life. It's like I get sick and then for 3 or 4 months after that, I have severe fatigue and I have worse muscle spasms and I have headaches and I have like all these other issues. And since I've been wearing a mask because of COVID, I have not gotten a cold. And I've been able to interact with my children more. I've been able to go more places because I'm not getting sick, because I'm not getting my seasonal cold that lasts 3 or 4 months for me. So it's, if you see somebody wearing a mask and you don't agree, you don't have to say anything. And if you see somebody not wearing a mask and you don't agree, you don't have to say anything. I think we should all just do our best to get along. I think there's been enough. There's just been enough. Like, enough of what? I don't know. I've had enough. There's been enough. Let's not do it anymore. Yeah, it'd be great if we could just get along. Your daughter gets birthday shirts. Oh yeah, Diane, that would be great. I don't know if she has her Etsy up yet or not, but I will get her information and however she's doing ordering. If she has a link, I'll post it in the description box of this video at some point. If not, then email me and I'll get you her information, because yeah, I'm sure she would love the business. She's just starting out and she does amazing work. She made me a mug and my mask and keychains and a bag. Like, she makes so much stuff, which is really funny because she blames me. I bought her, like, we were in this pin swap group and I bought her some pins and I used fabric as wrapping paper. And so she had never sewn before and she decided to make it into a pencil pouch, and that's how it started. So now she's got this like crafting empire and she blames me for it. So I'm happy to take credit. I think that's awesome. I turn a lot of my friends into crafters. Like, you're going to crochet. But she doesn't do anything with yarn. She just sews and she just does everything except yarn. But yeah, I'll put my email, and then if you're interested, just let me know. I will find her. I'm going to make her do a live with me, I think. Yeah, I'm really happy to take credit for that one. I actually have turned a few of my friends into like crocheters and crafters. I don't know. When somebody's going through a rough time, I usually send them yarn and a crochet hook. Like if they've had surgery or a broken bone or, whatever. I send them yarn and a crochet hook and I say, listen, YouTube, you can learn everything off of YouTube. I usually actually now, since I met her, I send everybody to Crochet Rocks because Tracy's tutorials are amazing. She did a great job explaining the magic circle because that one took me literal years to learn. So now whenever I have a friend that wants to learn it, I just send them directly to her. Hi, Tracy, by the way, if you're watching. I think half of my audience is from Tracy's page. Yeah, crochet is, I mean, I'm stuck in bed a lot with my health issues, Deanne, and crochet keeps me sane. I swear it does. Especially on I mean, on really bad days, I can't even crochet, but on high pain days, it gives me something to, it helps me cope. I know, I love Tracy. I keep missing her. For a while, I was doing great. I was getting up in time, and I was watching her like every day. And recently, I haven't been on YouTube all that much because of the dislocations that I had. And I want to say this, by the way, thank you guys so much for always being so understanding with me and my health challenges. Because every time I feel like I'm not doing a good job as a YouTuber, like Deanne, you're such a supportive person. And there's several people in here that message me and say, hey, listen, we're just happy you're okay. And like, it's so nice to just have that community. But yeah, crochet has saved my life on several occasions. Like, it keeps me sane, it helps me cope with my pain, it helps me with my mental health issues. It keeps my hands moving, which prevents arthritis. And they have done a lot of studies that say that crocheting or yarn crafting, knitting, etc., actually keeps your brain sharp. Like, it helps your neural connections or whatever when you get older. So people who knit or crochet have less severe instances of things like dementia. Of course, it's not a cure for Alzheimer's, but it does help. So with all the benefits, it also lowers your blood pressure. It lowers your risk of like stroke and heart disease and all these other things. All of the benefits. And you get to make cute things. I mean, that's really, that's really what it's all about, right? Oh, thanks, Deanne. That's how I do see you as my friend, because this is my social life. Like, I don't go out with people, especially, I mean, really for the past few years, but especially the past year. Like, I don't go out and socially. This is me socializing. So you are my friend. You're as much my friend as anybody in real life, But yeah, I do try to make it so it's like hanging out, because what else? What else are we gonna do? Gotta stay sane somehow. Yeah, I think YouTube is definitely keeping me sane on a level. Like, part of me gets really self-conscious. I'm like, oh my god, these people are gonna know that I'm crazy, and then I only socialize online. They're gonna think I'm a creep. And then I think about it, and I'm like, how many people are like stuck at home with chronic illnesses, with chronic pain, with anxiety disorders that aren't able to socialize? Like, this is great, right? And especially like if you're too anxious to do the video chat with somebody, because like for a long time I didn't want to be on video. I was like, I don't want people to see my face. And now I love that I can like talk to you guys and you can see me and hear me, and then you guys can type to me so that you don't have to, you don't have to worry about putting on lipstick or because I know for a long time, like Zoom calls and stuff, I would always cover my camera. I was the one with my camera off. I hated to be seen. And I don't know, at some point I decided I just want to talk to people. I prefer my online relationships because you kind of get to find your people easier online, right? Because you get to bunch together by interests or whatever. Yeah. I haven't gone out. So let's see. Aside from with my husband, I haven't gone out socially in probably like 3 years. It's been a minute because of my health issues. And at some point, I'm not sure exactly when it was or what exactly happened, but I kind of lost my tolerance for people. Like, I used to be such a social butterfly. I used to be very outgoing. I used to love being in groups of people and meeting new people and talking to people. And at some point over the course of the past few years, I just haven't had the energy to deal with people. 7 years. I mean, I prefer this. It doesn't take as many spoons as like going out with your friends. It doesn't cost anything, so that's good. And then also, if I don't want to talk to you guys, I just don't have to get on, just close my computer and walk away. But I don't know about you, Dan. Maybe it has something to do with like chronic health issues, but at some point I just kind of like, and that sounds kind of mean to say I lost my tolerance for people, but that's kind of what happened. Because in all of my friendships leading up to my diagnosis, until I got really sick and I couldn't do it anymore, I was always the person that everybody came to for advice. I was always the person that people would like dump everything on. Like I remember being in the grocery store line or at the gas station, and somebody would just reveal some life altering, like their deepest, darkest secrets to me. And I think when I got sick, I started to realize how little time I was giving to myself. And I feel like it's just going to take me maybe several years to recuperate from that, because no offense, but people are exhausting. They're exhausting. And you don't realize how exhausting they are until you don't have the energy to deal with them anymore. And now I'm finding that I make maybe not as many, but much more meaningful connections with people online. You're the same way. I don't know what that is. Like, there have always been people just willing to just tell me their whole life story, and I've always been willing to listen. But in recent years, I have found myself a lot more withdrawn, and I wouldn't say depressed, because I'm still social. I'm all over Facebook. I'm on here, but I prefer to be at home. And I used to always want to be out and about, and now I just don't. I just don't. Unless it's in nature, in which case, yeah, absolutely. But I don't know if maybe that's just like a phase that we go through as women or people. I don't know if there's any men watching, or I'm not to be exclusionary, like all genders and non-genders are valid here. I'm just saying, like, if there's anybody, I've noticed women have kind of that trend where they start out really social and then they get a little bit more reserved. Whereas I feel like my husband has become more social as he's gone on. So who knows? Yeah, Deanne, they call it that, like the healer's curse, right? Where you just give and give and give and give, and you never refill your cup, and then you burn yourself out. And I think a big part of me being at home, more reserved, less social, has been I literally need years to recover from how much from how many other people's problems I've dealt with in my life. I mean, I have my own issues, but my goodness, I can't handle having people dump all their stuff on me anymore. I can't handle being the only one that shows up when people need something. Like, it's exhausting. It's exhausting. And I have children, I have to teach them what it looks like to take care of yourself. So I've had to kind of step back from that role. I'm still a healer. I still do herbal medicine and things, but I do it on kind of like with a distance between me. Like, I can turn it off. I do my Etsy, and I still do consultations and readings, but I only do readings like on occasion. And I make that clear to my friends. I'm like, look, I'm open for readings right now. If you want a reading, that's great. Let me know. But the rest of the time, they know better. Because it's about balance, right? And with everything that's happening in the world, the weight is too much. It's too heavy. And I feel like, as bad as this sounds, since the pandemic started, I've actually had more rest than in the past 15 years of my life. I mean, not having to be in crowds with people, like, that makes me anxious. Even when COVID wasn't a thing, like, crowds make me exhausted and anxious, and just being around people is so draining. And so I would need a lot of time to myself to kind of recover. But now I find that I just don't have the desire to go out there and like socialize the way that I used to. I would much rather crochet and watch, a murder mystery, or like drink a cup of tea and watch something, or read a book. I haven't read a book in a while, but I love the idea of reading a book. I do love to read. I just haven't done it. So I don't know if this happens to you, but sometimes when I read, I fall asleep. I get so tired. I can't keep my eyes open and I fall asleep. So I haven't actually finished a book in years. But you're the same, Diane. I feel like the internet is this sanctuary for us introverts, because you can be selectively social, right? You don't have to like deal with the general population. You can just kind of hang out with the people that you want to hang out with, and then you can leave. Like, I'm out. See you guys. Because it's just a lot of energy, especially when you're the friend, the one that shows up when somebody has a flat tire, or you pay for dinner because somebody can't pay for it, or you're listening to somebody's breakup problems and all this and that, and you like get dragged down into it with them. When you're that friend, man, the internet is great, because we can hang out. I can talk about whatever with you. And then at some point I can say, all right, I'm going to go now. And I leave. And I don't have to actually go anywhere. You do a lot of lurking. I do a lot of lurking too. I love to lurk. Like I like being a background character. In my previous life before COVID, before eds, I was always very much I want to say a social instigator. I would like start conversations where there wasn't one. I almost felt obligated to do that when it's a bunch of quiet people. I would just start talking, striking up conversations. And it's a lot of fun, but I really prefer to do that now on a much smaller scale for much shorter periods of time. And I just love lurking because I can watch everybody interact and I feel like I've socialized, but I don't have to put a lot of energy into it. I don't have to put myself out there. Um, I mean, and maybe it's creepy. I also like to people watch. Like my husband and I, sometimes we do carnics, which are like picnics in our car, and we'll get food. And we'll like sit outside of Target and just watch people. We'll just people watch, and I don't know. That's a lot of fun. You know what's weird, Diane? So like I was quiet when I was little. Like I remember being painfully shy when I was young. And then I kind of went into this extroverted phase from like middle school until my late 20s. I was just out there, just loud and talking. And now I'm almost a hermit. Like I don't like people. I shouldn't say I love people, but like I don't like peopling. Like I just don't wanna. So I've recently become more of a quiet person, but I do kind of feel like that's my nature. Uh I used to be like I said, like a social instigator, where I felt obligated to like start conversations and talk to people. And now I'm just perfectly comfortable to stand quietly next to somebody and not say a damn thing. And the thing that's funny about it is that feels more natural to me, even though for years I've been doing this like extroverted thing. I think I was just an extroverted introvert. Like I was just trying really hard. And now I don't care enough. Like I don't need to make conversation with everybody on the elevator. Granted, if I do feel like called to say something, I will, but I've become like in real life a much more quiet person. Although if I sat here quietly, it would be kind of awkward. Just it's like, all right, Deanne's got the show. Let's go. Deanne's in charge now. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Has anybody else felt that way? Where like you were maybe shy as a younger person, and then went through an extroverted phase, and now you find yourself reverting back to introverted again, or the opposite? Where you were like extroverted and then you went through an introvert phase and then you became extroverted again, because I feel like our like late teens and 20s are kind of like this area of experimentation and self-discovery where you get to try to be stuff that you're not. And then like your 30s is when you're like, well, I tried it, I didn't like it, this is then you just discover that you actually are the same person that you were when you were like 5. Which is interesting because I don't know if I have told you guys this story or not, but so I'm a certified herbalist and aromatherapist, and I sell plant medicines to people. Well, when I was little, I think I was maybe 5 or 6 years old, we lived in this apartment building, and it was 2 buildings that faced each other with this beautiful little courtyard in between where all the kids played. And so I used to pick all the dandelions out of this courtyard and put them in a basket. And then I would walk around to the neighbors' houses and knock on the doors and try to sell them my dandelions. And I only had one customer that ever actually bought them, and she bought the whole lot. She gave me, I think, 20 cents for all of them. And she said, don't ever give up on what you like doing. So if you like selling dandelions, then you keep doing that because someday that's going to pay off. I went to herb school, and now I sell people dandelions professionally. So I think I'm just the same person that I was when I was 5, like I'm still just hawking dandelions over here. And I think that like extrovert introvert thing is the same, where I feel like everybody goes through a phase of the opposite, right? Where like we're all one way or another when we're little, and then everybody goes through a phase of the opposite, and then we come out the other end and we're like, it's not for me. I think that's where I'm at now, is like it takes so much energy to be an extrovert. Like Uh, but I will say I'm like friendly though. Like if somebody talks to me, I'm gonna talk back to them. But I don't instigate as much as I used to. It's a lot of energy, you guys. It's exhausting. So yeah. Just over here hawking my dandelions, and I think it's really funny that it took me years to realize that I was also the kid, like whenever, you know how in gym class sometimes you'd like go play softball or whatever on the baseball field, as a group, and you'd get different positions. Well, I always would volunteer for outfield, which nobody wanted. Nobody wanted to be outfield. I don't know why. And then I would get in trouble because I would be laying on the ground just like observing ladybugs, or like smelling the flowers, or making dandelion crowns out in the in the outfields. And so when I see my teachers like from years and years ago, which happens on occasion, they're like, "You really haven't changed like at all." Hi, Susan. I'm good. How are you? We're just talking about how some of us are the same person we were when we were 5, and it just takes all of your 20s to kind of realize that. You just got here. Well, I'm so happy that you're here. How are you today? Are you doing well? You always got put in the outfield too, Diane. I always asked because that's where the dandelions are and the ladybugs. I actually have a ladybug tattooed on my foot. I know you guys have never seen it. You probably never will, but I'm obsessed with ladybugs. I love them. They are the sweetest little things. And I know somebody, I can't remember who it was, told me that I need to get a P.O. box because she wants to send me yarn. And I'm telling you, don't send me yarn. Send me ladybugs. Like, of course, I need to get a P.O. box first. I was like, why can't I just put my address? And my husband's like, don't. Oh, you're good. I'm so happy to hear that, Susan. I'm really happy that you're here. How was your day? I was just telling Deanne and everybody else that I was supposed to have an MRI today and it did not go well. I panicked and got out of the machine early, and so I have to go back on Tuesday and have it redone. But they're going to put me in a bigger machine next time, so I think it'll be fine. I'm so glad you're doing well. Also, Susan, I think you're a crocheter, right? This tutorial is almost there. I have like 4 more rows of lark's foot stitch to do, and then I'll be doing the border that goes around, and then that will be the tutorial. So that's the last part that I have to do, is just the border. So that'll be good. That'll be up. I keep saying a few days. It'll probably be like a week, maybe longer. We'll see how I'm doing. Well, you guys, I'm going to actually go because I hear my kids. They want to go to bed. And they're waiting to say goodnight to me. So I'm going to head out. But I do so very much appreciate you guys spending your time with me. And I also really appreciate how understanding you are with my inconsistencies. Yes, I'm so happy you love it. Everyone love this one. I have pictures. I think I post at the beginning of the tutorial video. I'll post pictures of the black one. The black one is just, instead of this pale yellow, I used black, and that one came out really cool too. And it's all paint box DK yarn, Simply DK, whatever it's called. But anyway, I gotta go put my kids to bed. I'm sorry, Susan, that you just got here and I'm leaving you. I feel kind of bad, but I will try to do another live maybe tomorrow. I'll find something to talk about. But yes, I'm excited for the tutorial too, Susan. It'll probably be like a week. I'm hoping it'll be a week or less. It just depends on if my hands cooperate and I can actually do the crocheting to get it done. So I have like, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 more days of crocheting to do, and then I'll get the video up. I've already been editing it as I go, so it's like, it's almost there. But yeah, I would love that too. If you made it, like, please send me pictures. I want to see everybody's version of it, like whatever colors you use, because I think it's going to be amazing. Oh, thank you, Susan. You too. Stay safe. All right, you guys. You know what I'm going to say? Don't forget, wash your hands, wear your masks, be kind to yourselves and each other, and don't forget that you are all sacred, precious, beloved beings. And I am so, so happy that you guys came to spend some time with me, and I will see you in the next one. Have a wonderful night, day, morning, whatever time it is where you are. All right, see you guys. Bye. Thank you for coming.